They called us the Latchkey Generation. Turns out, they accidentally trained the most adaptable workforce in modern history. Kids who vanished after breakfast and didn't come back until the streetlights turned on. The world called it unsupervised. It wasn't. It was survival school. We didn't know it then, but we were building skills that don't show up on a resume, and yet show up every single day at work. Here are 5 workplace skills companies desperately look for today that Gen X learned completely by accident. Skill 1. The Analog Troubleshooter. There was no Google it. If something broke, you fixed it, or you went without. Blow the dust out of the cartridge, wind the tape back with a pen, smack the side of the TV until the picture came back. That was just Tuesday. We learned early, machines fail, systems are finicky. Sometimes they just need a human touch and a little patience. While others open another support ticket, Gen X starts pulling the system apart until they find the problem. We don't wait for a manual. We don't wait for permission. Broken isn't the end, it's the starting point. That's the difference between someone who panics and someone who solves it. Today, that shows up everywhere. A glitchy spreadsheet, a crashed presentation 5 minutes before the meeting. Gen X doesn't call IT first. Gen X tries 3 things before they even pick up the phone. Skill 2. Radical independence. Mom was still at work. Dad wouldn't be home until dinner. The key around your neck was the only plan you had. You walked into an empty house, made a sandwich, finished your homework, navigated the rest on your own, and somehow figured life out. That's where radical independence began. It built a generation that doesn't need hand-holding. Give us a task, leave us alone. It gets done, and usually done right. We were remote work ready decades before remote work was even a phrase. We've been running our own office since the 3rd grade. No manager checking in every hour, no app tracking our screen time. Here's what's funny. Our parents weren't trying to build resilient employees. They were just trying to make it through another workday. Somehow, they accidentally trained an entire generation for the modern workplace. Skill 3. Boredom as a superpower. Gen X had something rare. Real boredom. No tablets, no infinite scroll. Just a cardboard box that somehow became a spaceship, a stick that became a sword, a backyard that became an entire universe. A 3-hour car ride with nothing but the window and your imagination. Nobody entertained us, so we learned to entertain ourselves. Before some people have finished checking notifications, we've already solved the problem. Here's the irony. Companies now spend billions trying to teach employees the exact focus we learned by accident, for free, in a backyard. Boredom taught us patience, and patience became our edge. Skill 4. Reading between the lines. We grew up caught between 2 worlds. Our parents' rigid rules, our kids' digital chaos. We watched commercials promise the impossible, miracle diets, magic gadgets. We learned fast. Not everything on screen is true. We didn't trust every ad. We didn't trust every authority. We asked, wait, really? Before we ever asked, how do I get one? That built a filter most people never develop. We question the source before we believe the story. Today, the world is louder than ever. AI content, corporate spin, fake urgency in every headline. That's why when someone says, everything is under control, Gen X quietly starts looking for what's missing. We learned long ago that what isn't being said is often more important than what is. Gen X was trained for this decades ago, without even knowing it. Skill 5. Improvising with nothing. One phone line, one television, one chance. Miss it, and it was gone. No rewind, no replay. But it wasn't just about fixing what broke. It was about going without a fix at all. No spare part, no backup plan, no one coming to save the project. So you invented one out of rubber bands, duct. That's not a limitation. That's a skill most of the world quietly forgot. The generation that grew up making a toy work with no instructions is now the generation making the plan work with no budget. We're not unstoppable because we're smarter or faster. We're unstoppable because we grew up with no help button to press. We built these skills ourselves, one boring afternoon at a time. We are the bridge between the analog past and the digital future. We carried the cul-de-sac into the boardroom, and it still shows. The streetlights told us it was time to go home. Turns out, they were also lighting the path to adulthood. We thought we were just growing up. We were actually learning how to adapt. If this hit home, you know exactly why. Subscribe, because every week I dig up another skill nobody ever thanked us for. One question before you go. What's the one childhood skill you still use today? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one.